Welcome to Pro Athletes Unfiltered. In this series, we're going to be comparing and contrasting what it takes to be a professional athlete in each sport. Every episode, we will be following a top pro, spending a true day in the life, from their home to their training to challenges that they face to become one of the greats. They will put me through intense training regimens, and in the end, will challenge me to see if I have what it takes to make it in their sport. Get an insider's look into the vast differences in every sport, from fitness to financials to sacrifices and mental fortitude. My name is Kinsey, a professional stunt woman and extreme sports athlete, and I'll be your host. On today's episode of Pro Athletes Unfiltered, we have Michael Andrew. Michael Andrew is a USA Olympic gold medalist swimmer and world record holder. At his first Olympic Games, the 2020 Summer Olympics, he won a gold medal and set a world record as part of the 4x100 meter medley. So welcome, Michael Andrew.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and your swimming career.
Yeah, so my swimming career, I've been swimming over a decade now. One of the very fortunate athletes, I get to do it with my family. So my dad's coached me almost my entire career.
Wow.
A little fun fact about my sporting career is I went pro when I was 14 years old, making me the youngest swimmer in history to do so. And we've always kind of, as a family, we've paved a different path. We believe in supporting the family and being close, but we also train differently. We follow the science, and we kind of looked at how does our body code movement, how does our body work? And, we came up with a methodology by meeting another random guy. Like, our paths crossed uniquely. And so we believe that there's a purpose in what we were doing. Mm-hmm. And so it's carried me a long ways and made my first world champs team at 2017. I fell in love with the sport really early, and couldn't see myself doing anything else.
And so you said 14, you became a professional athlete. So how did that affect your adolescent years and growing up?
It definitely affected it a lot, but for me, it's all positive. Mm-hmm. I was always raised in the way that if there's something you desire and it makes sense and there's a purpose behind it, pursue it with everything you've got. Mm-hmm. And I think because my parents instilled that in me, and also I saw the sacrifices that they made for me to succeed, the sky was the limit and I couldn't be stopped. And so it was one of those things where there was a lot of negativity around outside of my team, but my team was so tight and we were so close that it didn't really matter. It was just gray noise. Okay. And as you get older, obviously there comes years where your performance ebbs and flows. And so as a young athlete, I didn't know how to handle that and the mental side of it. And what do you do when someone with anonymous 1, 2, 3, 4 says some negative thing on a blog site? How do you not let that internally ring in your head? But I think what it all boiled down to is it forced me to grow up really early. I was around older people all the time. I was racing with Olympians from the age of 14. Mm-hmm. I was traveling the world. And so it became part of my education. The Olympic medal is awesome. All of these accolades are cool. Another Olympics would be awesome, but at the end of the day, it all vanishes. And so if I'm laying on my deathbed and I'm thinking, I just want my medals close to me, I've failed.
Going back to being 14 and becoming a professional athlete, what would normal 14-year-olds are at school, making friends, probably meeting girls. What was your life at 14?
So part of why we started homeschooling was because my mom would be so busy working. She works in foreign labor. School day would end and Mikhail and I would be sitting there waiting for them to come pick us up. And a lot of days we would just we'd be waiting for quite a while. Yeah. And we'd be tardy, we'd be late, or we'd be traveling for meets and we'd be missing schoolwork. We're gonna get our education online. We're gonna focus on our career paths and what we desire to do. Mm-hmm. I think that was the biggest misconception, and where a lot of people misunderstood what we were doing is they thought my parents were forcing a lifestyle on me. They were like, okay, you're gonna be a professional athlete and we're gonna cash out on you. Yeah. And it was completely the opposite. They gave everything, I desired to, and I pushed. So it was pretty fun.
So you've never been burnt out. You've loved swimming your entire life.
Oh no.
Okay. I'm like, wow, that's rare.
I've had lots of seasons of hating the sport or resenting it for whatever reason. But for the most part, I've always reminded myself of why I do it in the first place. Yeah. And that's just because I believe I've got a gift to swim fast. and I enjoy it. I enjoy the feeling of standing on top of a podium. I enjoy believe it or not, the pain that comes with training and succeeding. And so it was one of those things that even in the lowest of lows, and I've been through some really low lows, I still wanted to be in the pool.
So you're swimming 4 hours every single day?
For most days, yeah. So it kind of depends. There's a lot of variables going into like basically wherever the season's at, or like, for example, tomorrow I'm racing. And so we'll probably just swim once today, and we'll focus on hitting all aspects of the stroke and then allow for myself to recover the rest of the evening. But if I'm grinding through, our routine's pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We'll double most days, and double is 2 swims. And then we'll gym 3 times a week. So gym would be Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
And then inside there, I sprinkle recovery wherever I can.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it's at home or with a physio.
Well, we have an important season right now because he's preparing for the Paris Olympics in 2024.
Yeah.
So we get to actually spend the day with an Olympic gold medal athlete preparing for the Paris Olympics. So we're going to get in the pool.
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be grueling and horrible.
Yeah.
So let's get to the pool.
Awesome, we'll see you guys there.
We got to spend a day with Michael and his coach, Peter Andrew, who happens to be his dad. After exploring coaching options and not finding a good fit, Peter decided to take on the task of coaching his son personally. Peter trains Michael using a science-based method known as ultra short race pace training, or USRPT. USRPT emphasizes high intensity race pace training repetitions with short rest intervals.
My name's Peter Andrew. I am Michael's father and coach. Yes, and that's who I am. This morning, we're just doing the strokes that Michael will be qualifying for in the Olympics. So the 100 breast, the 100 fly, and then at the end we do overspeed, which is the 50 free. So we'll be specifically training for those events. And that's what we do every training from now on through trials, which is up in 3 months. Okay, 12:06. Yeah, your hips are a little low too. I feel like everything's a little low.
Swimming requires immense endurance. Michael spends hours every single day in the pool doing laps. I barely lasted 3 hours and I needed immense breaks. One exercise we added into our practice was a resistance band. This attachment in the pool connects to you and resists against you while you're swimming. I could barely move forward. I felt like I was gonna drown.
Okay, go.
Okay, so fly is definitely the hardest stroke. I only made it 4 strokes before I was absolutely exhausted. But you can also see that it's the fastest stroke. I think he's doing it in like 8 seconds.
So you always want to make sure when you push that this angle here is greater than a 90, because otherwise it takes you too long to unfold the leg, right, to drive. But this initiates, this one drives.
Okay. So you push off the ball of your foot. That's where you create the most power.
Okay. Taking your marks.
Nice, that's actually really good. The dive was great.
You didn't get the leg up, but at the end,
At the end, on the entry.
both your legs up. So it was actually
But it's just because your initial action was so much further up that you had to then, yeah.
Out, like.
Yeah, so here, I'll do one and show you the difference. Perfect. That was so much better. Her reaction time was a lot slower, but that's just because you're thinking. Yeah, that looked really good. Cleanest entry, best trajectory. Reaction time was slower, but that's just because you're thinking. And that's high. It's a long ways to jump off the blocks head first, so I'm very impressed.
Okay, so this was obviously a very light day for Michael because he has a meet tomorrow, but he's actually going to continue practice because I couldn't keep up. I'm slowing him down. So he has got to go and crush it, but we're going to wrap for us. So thank you so much for having me at practice, and good luck at the Olympic trials coming up.
Thank you. Lots of work to do.
Cool. Michael has committed his entire life to swimming. His extreme focus shows by the countdown placed in his living room that shows day to day how many days left until the Olympic trials. This countdown is crucial. Michael was explaining the immense pressure facing the Olympic trials. Only 4 people from the entire United States of America compete per event. So right behind me, we have 3 months, 14 days, and 16 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Olympic trials coming up in Paris.
Yes.
So your last Olympics, you got a gold medal.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have trials coming up. So describe the preparation for that, mentally and physically.
Yeah, so it's ramping up right now. It's terrifying thinking that it's only 3 months away, because I remember finishing Tokyo and being like, oh, we got 3 years to play with.
Yeah.
And it flies. I just came back from World Championships. I had the opportunity to race at a really high level early in the year, which most people don't get to do. It's very abnormal for an Olympic year to have a Worlds. And so this sets me up because now I know, okay, I've lacked in some areas and I have room to improve. And so the work that I'm doing now in the pool is all reflective of what I learned from Worlds. And so there was a little bit of a setback, a little mental and physical, like, okay, I know where I'm at. But now it's like full system go, pretty locked in. Time is so limited.
Yeah.
And if I want to make another team, I'm going to have to commit absolutely everything, which is easy because it's a big goal.
Amazing. And so this is your entire life as all professional athletes. But describe the financial side of swimming.
Yeah.
Like, how many meets do you do a year? Can you win prize money? Or how does a professional swimmer make money?
So I would say if you're wanting to get into a sport to make lots of money, become a tennis player or a golfer. Don't pick swimming. That's the one thing I wish my parents had done for me. My earning early on came purely from prize money. I think we raced almost 30 plus weekends out of the year.
Okay.
And so we were constantly traveling, whether it was international or throughout the States. We have pro series, but that's where you've got maybe a few $1,000s up for grabs. And then the big one at the end of the year, there's World Cups where there's a larger prize pool.
Okay.
But you only get paid when you win. And so in the World Cups, you could earn up to 150 grand, but you have to be you have to be number one in a cluster of 3 to 6 meets.
So if you didn't perform in that meet, say the World Cup is coming up or in 30 weekend, and you walked away with 0 prize money and you have your team to pay.
Yeah.
What do other professional swimmers do? How they have part-time jobs?
A lot of swimmers work part-time jobs. A lot of swimmers are fortunate to have, savings or family members that can help. I've been very fortunate. One, success is, it garners attention, and so then brands want to work with you, and you can earn stipend funding from the federation for making international teams, Worlds, Olympics. And then it's about creating a brand. And so for me, I kind of try and hit all 3, where it's like prize money, build your own brand, any sort of engagements, endorsements, and things like that. We don't have a league, but that's a whole nother story. Like, your only earning potential, at least in terms of your marketability, is the Olympics. Right. The Olympics is every 4 years for 2 weeks.
And what would be, say you take home the gold medal, what you have at the Olympics, what prize money are you looking at for the biggest event of every 4 years?
So if you're coming from Singapore, you get $1 million.
Oh.
If you're coming from the US, I think it's like 25 grand. And so the difference is, and it makes sense though, I don't know if that number is correct, don't quote me on that, but the difference is the US wins so many medals that if we were to pay everybody that amount of money, there wouldn't be much money left. I'm looking at trying to figure out, how do you create excitement around the sport? And I think that's part of what swimming is lacking, is we don't have events where you can bet on the athletes and have a recurring racing because of the way that the athletes kind of think. Who doesn't want to watch a bunch of really attractive athletes, barely dressed, swimming up and down a pool, if you make the format right?
So it's going to be a female audience.
Yeah, fair enough.
The first sport with a majority female audience. And your guys' body build is definitely different. Every single sport, they all have a different body build. You are 6'6".
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
It definitely ranges. You'll see all sorts of body types in swimming, and you'll see them succeed in all. I think there's definitely body types that are more beneficial for certain strokes. Like breaststroke and butterfly, you can get away with being shorter. As a sprinter, the time you spend in the pool is so short, so every extra inch of stroke length you have is going to put you that much farther ahead of the guy next to you. So for me, I'm very fortunate. I'm built a lot like Phelps was built. Short legs, extremely long torso to where like I can't wear normal shirts.
Okay.
And then relatively long arms, although Phelps' arms were like really long.
Another thing that you pointed out was the hair on your body.
Yeah.
So you have a beard right now, but normally before a race, you're completely clean shaven
Completely.
from head to toe.
Head to toe, everything. And this is actually kind of a little TMI, but when we're on team trips like Worlds or Olympics, we'll often have like shave parties where the guys will help get each other's backs, because there's times where I try to shave my back and you can like nick yourself pretty good. And so if we need to and we're getting ready for anything really big, we'll have our buddies shave our backs. Yeah.
That's really supportive teammates right there. That's team bonding.
Yeah, you got to. Someone's got to do it. And if you take too much time off, it takes you months to get back into peak shape.
So this isn't football off season where you get to relax and
enjoy. You get maybe a week if you want it.
So this has been your entire life.
And you see it in a lot where it's like, in order to achieve, you have to like sacrifice your whole life. I would rather not achieve and have an exciting life than do that, because I think you give up so much more than you gain. And I only say that because I have a gold medal and it doesn't make things better.
Yeah.
I remember coming back from the Olympics with a gold medal and decent individual performances. I didn't swim in a pool for like 13 weeks. I didn't speak to a single media outlet for 13 weeks. I like completely hermited, kind of lived away from the sport, and I needed that because I think I had thought that this, like, it was going to fill that piece that I was looking for.
Yeah.
You know, it was a dream since I was 8. I remember watching the Beijing Olympics thinking, okay, I want to be there one day.
Yeah.
When you do achieve that, you realize if it's not for an eternal purpose or it's not something that really leaves an impact, then what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
It doesn't make me a better person. It doesn't open more doors. Like, yes, you get to meet cool people and have cool experiences.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, we're all struggling through the same stuff.
That's why in every sport we've had athletes talk about the mental game is almost paralleled with the physical game.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have those together,
you could be the most,
never be the best
you could be the most physically prepared, but if on the day, fear, anxiety, everything shuts you down, you're screwed.
We are at an amazing tennis match in San Diego. So we're doing a true day in the life with Michael Andrew today. This is what we talked about earlier, that a lot of his income comes from brand sponsorship. So this is one of his biggest brands, Symbiotica. So they have this entire tennis match, but we're in the Symbiotica section. And Michael's actually doing the coin toss for the match today.
Good evening. So we're here at San Diego Open with Symbiotica. It's the VIP Chalet. Really amazing relationship. One thing I love, it's just a family.
Yeah.
They do all these cool things where they bring a lot of influence with them. And being one of their athletes, I get to show off this hunk of metal, have some fun, and then have some drinks and eat and just chill.
And we've been meeting so many people. It's been such a joy. So thanks for having us, and let's go watch some tennis. And this is my favorite part. This little hat. I'm wearing that for sure. And the cute toe, honestly. Set Active, I work with them also. We got a ton of goodies. I can't take this on the plane later. Cute. This is it. This is time to shine. And he's got his gold medal on his neck. I would wear that everywhere I go, honestly. If it was me. Oh, there he is.
Mr. Michael Andrew.
Woo!
First match of the evening.
Go, Michael! Yeah, I gotta improve. So I've been taking tennis lessons now for 6 months. And let me tell you, it doesn't look like that. It does not. I thought I was good. Thank you guys so much for watching Pro Athletes Unfiltered with our swimmer episode, Michael and Andrew. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, let me know who you guys want to see next episode, and we'll see you next time. What got you into boxing in the first place?
I used to fight in the streets when I was a kid.
Really?
You ready? Pop up. Go. Like a pro.
In rehab, your bunkmate was Steve-O.
Yeah.
From Jackass.
Yes.
Okay, pretty sick.
Very common to break your collarbone. That's probably the most common injury.
What happened?
If you fall and let's say I rotate coming down and you land on your shoulder, you land on your front, normally the first thing that gives is your collarbone before your arm or your shoulder or your leg.
Yeah, I broke my collarbone snowboarding doing that.
Exactly,
Falling.
right? It's the same.
Yeah, dude. Shit was lit.
I did feel a lot more zen. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Pro Athletes Unfiltered.